One day you realize something quietly. Your child no longer asks for your advice, not because they dislike you, not because you argued, just they no longer need your advice. And that realization hurts many parents more than any argument ever could. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you've lived through moments like these. You offer advice sincerely, your child nods, just to end the conversation. You carefully explain what's right and what's wrong. Your child stays silent. You worry about them, so you talk more. And somehow they pull farther away. And familiar thoughts begin to surface. Do they not respect me anymore? Did I say the wrong thing? Are they being influenced by friends? Or am I no longer important in their life? The truth is, many parents are living in this stage right now, but almost no one talks about it, because saying it out loud feels like admitting something painful, that you may be slowly losing your role in your child's life. The most painful part isn't when your child talks back, and it's not even when they make mistakes. It's this: they no longer need to ask you. Before, choosing a school, they asked their parents. Choosing a job, they asked their parents. Feeling sad, they talked to their parents. Now they decide on their own. They carry the consequences alone. They stay quiet, and you begin to feel like a bystander in your own child's life. There's a truth that's hard to accept, but it needs to be said. Your child hasn't stopped needing you. They've stopped needing your advice. Why? When your child was young, your advice was their compass. But as they grow older, they want to try, they want to fail. They want to experience life for themselves, not because they think you're wrong, but because they need to feel ownership over their own life. Many parental conversations begin with, "I'm saying this because I care about you." But what the child often hears is, "If you don't listen, you're wrong." Over time, advice no longer feels supportive. It becomes an invisible burden. Some children stop asking for advice, not because they're rebellious, but because they're afraid. I'm afraid that if I choose differently, I'll disappoint my parents. So they choose silence. They decide alone. They carry it alone. I once heard a father say this: "I gave my child good advice 10 times, but the one time they didn't listen and failed, I brought it up again. And after that, they never asked me anymore." It wasn't because the advice was wrong. It was because of how it was repeated. For a child, failure already hurts. Having it brought up again doubles the pain. And they learn something very quickly. If I want peace, I shouldn't ask. There's a deep paradox in relationships between parents and grown children. The more you talk, the less they listen. But when you stay quiet at the right moment, they begin to come back, because they don't need someone to direct them. They need a safe place to return when they lose their way. When you don't rush to give advice, don't rush to judge, don't rush to say, "I told you so," you send a powerful message. You're allowed to be yourself, and we're still here. If today your child doesn't ask for advice, doesn't share much, doesn't seem to need guidance, that doesn't mean you failed. It simply means your role is changing, from guide to companion, from speaker to listener. And that is much harder. If you've listened this far and see yourself in these words, know this: you're not alone. Many parents are learning how to love in a new way, to care without control, to support without pressure. If this video resonated with you, please tap like, not for me, but for yourself, for having the courage to reflect on your role. Leave a comment below. What did you realize when your child stopped asking for your advice? And if you want to continue these conversations for parents with growing children, follow the channel. We don't need to be perfect parents. We just need to know when to listen.